What's going on, everybody? It's August 6th. We're back in Georgia again, checking cameras. Last video I put out, as y'all seen, was me checking my cameras for bear. Mosquitoes already starting to eat me up. Well, we back in the same place, same management area, and we're going to check these cameras today. Hopefully, we're going to have some more bear pictures, and I really want to have some more deer than I had last time. I didn't have that many deer last time, for buck-wise at least. But we're getting close to deer season too. So last time I was here, I moved some cameras around. Some I kept in the same spots, some I changed up. I'm gonna go check one now that moved to a different area. Hopefully this one's gonna have either some nice bucks or some nice bear on them. But we fixing to find out, and I'm gonna get to walking and stop talking because these mosquitoes are starting to get on me now. But we're gonna see what these cameras got in store for us today. These mosquitoes are killing me. That camera had pretty good pictures on it. Had 2 different days where bears came in. I don't know if it was different bears or same bears. I know one of the pictures, a bear had a big old patch on its side, hair missing. So at least that's one way for me to identify one of the bear. And the other one, I just got a rear view of it. So I don't know if that was the same bear or not. But this camera, got it sitting right here. And it's just looking down this fire break. Big swamp in here, and you got a bunch of short pines for long ways all out in here. But there's a big trail right here, big old trail it goes deep into the swamp. And then you got a little trail right here. It's hard to see on the camera, but there's a little trail that comes in right here and meets with that trail. But it's a good little spot, I think so. I mean, the pictures showed at least. Haven't had no big bucks on it, but had plenty of deer. You know, I say plenty, it was the same deer coming in pretty regular, and had that piebald doe on there, which was really cool. She had a fawn, which was even better, and little spike buck was on there too. But I went ahead and reset that camera, and now we're going back to the truck, get out of these mosquitoes, because I forgot the mosquito spray in the truck, so that's why they're eating me up so bad. But anyhow, we'll get back to the truck. We're going to go check the other one that's about a mile up the road there. I ain't even fixing to play this game anymore. Austin, don't you care about the deer and bears smelling your mosquito spray? To be honest with you, at this point, no, I don't. Granted, I won't be doing this the next time or any other time that I come out here, because next time I come out, it'll only be about a week and a half until season starts. So I won't be spraying down then with mosquito spray. But right now, absolutely. Especially because I'm about to go in this deep swamp with a bazillion mosquitoes. One of the reasons why I come out scouting towards the later morning, middle of the day, early afternoon, you know, try to make that my scouting time throughout this time of year, especially, you know, the summer. People have asked me before, why don't you do that, you know, early morning, late afternoon, in the cool of the day? I don't see how you can go out there in the middle of the day like that. Well, don't get me wrong, I'd much rather come out that time of the day, early in the morning, late in the evening, because it's cooler. But the problem is, if I do that, I have a greater chance of jumping up deer or running into a bear or something like that, compared to me coming out in the heat of the day like this. And when you come out in the heat of the day like this, you've got, you know, generally speaking, I know deer move all times of day. I know this stuff. But generally speaking, you're not gonna run into any deer like you would early morning, late in the evening. But also, your scent has time to disperse out and basically die off in a sense. I know deer can smell you for a long time after you've been through. I get all that, but you get what I'm saying. gives more time than it would if you were just to walk around early in the morning or late in the evening. So that's why I choose to come out here and sweat like crazy and spray mosquito spray all over me, is because all in all, in my opinion, it's just the best time to do so. Y'all ain't even got a guess. This one's getting reset. Alright. Needless to say, that is a buck I would shoot with no problem. So I'm gonna set another camera in this creek bed somewhere fairly close proximity. But heck, checking 2 cameras so far. First one had that piebald doe and bear pictures. Now check the second camera about a mile up the road, and we got nice buck, a little buck on there too, but we got that nice buck. Granted, that's all we had in 2.5, 3 week time frame, but still, I'm liking it. These mosquitoes are still bad, even with the spray. But I like this spot I just came up on. I like this a little bit better. Or not necessarily better, but I just like it. It's actually about 100 yards from where I actually enter the creek bed at. So I've got my one camera that I got the picture of the buck at. It's about 150 yards down this way. Still on the edge of the swamp here in the creek bed, but it gets really thick, like swampy like in there, and it's open out this way. Well, the thing is, where I'm at here kind of comes at like a little pinch point, because only about 60 yards out in front of me is when it opens up into more sparse pines. So what I believe is that the deer, I just swallowed a mosquito, is that the deer are going to be walking the edge of this thing, obviously, but it comes to a little pinch point right here. I mean, from where it opens with these pines to this thick swamp-like stuff, it comes to a little pinch point. So I'm going to put a camera here in hopes, get more deer activity right in this one particular spot, because if they're going to stay in this cover without going out into the open pines, they're going to have to use this pinch point pretty tight. So I got this tree right here behind me, this little cypress, and I got a perfect spot where I got about 30 yards of no trees in front of the camera. Now granted, this camera gets 25 foot of range, roughly, so it doesn't really matter. But it's just a nice little open spot, so you get plenty of view for the deer crossing back and forth, and you don't have to worry about having trees in your way or anything like that. So we setting the camera right here. Alright. Now we're almost to camera number 3 here. This particular one, it's just down a fire break. You can see, just walking down the edge of the fire break, and I got really, really thick brush in here. I don't even know what it's called, but it's like a swamp, but not a swamp. I know that makes like no sense, but it's really, really thick in there. And then we got really, really thick gallberries and short pines here on this side. So my thought setting this particular camera mainly was just a pure, I guess you could just say observation. I know they're all observation, but this was kind of like just setting it just to see. And because there was no particular trail that I could find or anything where they were like really crossing over. But critters are always going to walk these fire breaks, roads in general, but you know, these fire breaks in the woods like this. So one of your best things you can do is just set it up on the edge and just see what is cruising up and down. It's really one of the best ways to figure out what's actually in an area, because every critter that's in the area will at some point or another in some spot use a fire break to walk down. So we're coming up on it now, so we're gonna see. Hopefully we got some good ones on here. And it looks moved actually, so a bear may have touched that, which I ain't complaining. This was a deer spot that I set this camera for, but as you can see, it's kind of crooked. It was not like that when I put it up, so that could be either a bear, coon, could be a deer that pushed it with his nose, but let's just find out. Well, as you've seen, the culprit was caught red-handed. It was that young female black bear messing with my camera, pushing it over. She had a cub with her too. She was definitely a small bear, no doubt. And big old ears on her, so that tells you alone she was a younger bear. But anyhow, we got one more camera to check. We'll just check the third or the fourth and final camera, and it had a whole lot of nothing on there. Had a couple deer, and by couple I mean a doe, fawn, and another deer. Not sure if it was a buck or a doe because it was kind of far from the camera, but just had it sitting on the edge eating. But when it comes to the cameras that we set out, we got what we got today, which was a nice buck on one of the cameras with a little buck too, and we got plenty of does and fawns, so I'm glad to see that. But we got that one nice buck, got the little buck, we got mama bear with a cub, and then we got one really nice bear, possibly second bear. Just don't know if those are different bears or not on that one, on the first camera I checked this morning, but either way, that's what we got today. So try to find some more places to put these cameras out, come back in another couple weeks, check them again, because the time after that I check them, not the time coming up that I'm going to check them, but the time after that, it's going to be when I'm coming up here for my deer hunt and I'm checking them before I set my stand out. So that's that, y'all.